Hey everybody, welcome. It is Unit 6 time in ENG110, and I want to take a quick walkthrough of what's going on this week. But also, I want to remind you that it is a non-writing assignment week. So if there is anything that you have missed from Units 1 through 5, please reach out if you would like the chance to make up that late work. We may not be able to give you full points or whatever, but if there's something that you have not bothered to turn in, this is a good week to get caught up. So let me go ahead and look at the course with you as usual. And as I mentioned, we're going into Unit 6. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. You'll notice, of course, that at the very top, post is reminding you that it is time to register for classes for the next term. With the 8-week classes, we've only got 2 weeks after this left. And so then, of course, a new term will be starting right after that. And this week, we are going to be digging more into crafting an argument. Now, you've already been working on argumentative things. You've talked about the pros and cons of a topic. That topic is going to become your argument essay topic. You've written an introduction for that argument essay that is coming up to be due in week 7. But this is where you're really going to dig into what do we do when we are arguing. And specifically, you're going to be looking at the art of persuasion and rhetorical strategy. So there are 3 kinds of what we call appeals when we are writing arguments. Logical or logos, which is what it sounds like, facts, expert opinions, really the hardcore proof that you want when you are using when you're writing an argument. There's also pathos, or what's another good word to put it? Pathetic is what the word that we've come, but it really refers to the emotional component. And argumentative essays do have an emotional component. We don't want to go crazy with emotion because sometimes if we use too much emotion, it feels like we are manipulating people or trying to make them feel guilty or whatever. And then the final one is called ethos, or the ethical appeal. And really, with ethical appeal, it has more to do with how the author of the argument establishes his or her credibility. And so we talked about reliable sources earlier in the class. You are going to be writing a paper and you need to establish some credibility in order to get your point across effectively. Now, how do we do that as students? Well, mostly by using good sources. So you're going to be doing research. You can certainly do that this week. You can start really digging into other sources that you might use for your argumentative essay. But the paper itself, the essay itself, is not due until the end of week 7. But so you're going to be focusing on logos, ethos, and pathos this week in terms of what you are learning. So let's take a look first at the readings and resources as usual. Writing an argument, you have a reading assignment from our text. Writing transitions, you have an interactive. And again, I'm going to put the link to that in the announcement with this video because the link may or may not work within the Blackboard here. And then you're going to have a section on rhetoric and argument. Now, very important, couple videos, 3 videos to go after that. Really important. Cannot stress this enough. Do all of these before you start the assignments. We've got 2 assignments this week. One is, of course, as usual, a discussion board, and the other is a knowledge check. So we had one of those back in Unit 3, I believe it was. So again, this week you don't have a writing assignment, but you do have a test to take. Remember that there are 10 questions on these tests, and you can take it as many times as you want to. So let's talk about the discussion board. Please begin by selecting an advertisement for a popular product such as soda, food, clothing, brand, or a car. It needs to be a specific product and a specific advertisement. You can use a print advertisement, such as you might see in a magazine or on a website, like an ad, flash ad. You can also use a television commercial. There are tons of TV commercials, old and new, available online. So look at YouTube, search YouTube for advertisements. And honestly, the video advertisements are usually easier for people to find than print advertisements, because we just don't look at a lot of print sources anymore. So once you have that advertisement, you're going to analyze it, okay? Write one paragraph considering the advertisement rhetorically, which you've learned about if you've done your readings and videos. How would you summarize what the advertisement about? Using the summary, what do you think the advertisement logically does to sell the product to the customer? What emotions does the advertisement create in you when you're viewing it and other people? And then finally there, what makes you trust, this is the ethos part, the brand in the advertisement, or maybe you don't trust them. You have to include a link to the video or to the print ad so that your classmates and I can see it within your post. And then, of course, it reminds you again to make sure you've read the reading assignments and viewed all the videos, because you're going to need that in order to provide that rhetorical analysis. So then when you're responding to others in your responses, you can consider the advertisement chosen by your classmates. Again, you should be able to see it. If you were reviewing the advertisement, what is one area you think the advertisement could be improved? Why do you think that? You could also explain how you think the rhetorical appeals appear in the advertisement in general. So have you started to notice them in any other advertisement? So for example, if you're watching a TV commercial that has a lot of emotional appeal, maybe there's sad music playing in the background. The first one that always comes to mind is the Sarah McLachlan commercial for the ASPCA. Have you seen that in other ads? And of course, the answer is yes. So how does that come about? All right. So this is a fun one, but a lot of people get sidetracked and do not choose a specific advertisement. Cannot stress that enough. So I'm going to show you while we're talking about it, how to locate an advertisement to use for this assignment. So let me open a new thing, and I'm going to put in first for TV advertisements. TV advertisement. And maybe you know of one specifically that you want to look for. I'm going to put in Limu. Wait, what's his name? Yeah, Limu, the Emu, and Doug. Okay, so the first thing that comes up when I Google that is several commercials. There's a whole bunch of them, and you notice they're all housed on YouTube. So I have the full ad right here. So let me just pick the first one, just because it's right there at the top.
Doug. It's nice to unwind after a long week of telling people how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you.
Okay, so right away, there is a logical appeal there, even though we've got the goofy kind of thing going on. Doug's at the bowling alley. We're probably going to see the emu here in a second, whatever. But the main selling point to this ad is that Liberty Mutual customizes your insurance so that you only pay for what you need. That's their tagline, but that's also a logical appeal, because logically speaking, I don't want to pay more for car insurance if I don't have to, right? So there's some of my logos right away.
Showtime. I'm on fire tonight.
If you get a kick out of Limu, Emu, and Doug, which I know I do, and let me play this. There we go.
You're in control. We're not counting that. Only pay?
That's the emotion, right? It's funny. It's supposed to be funny. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's supposed to appeal to your emotion of pleasure and happiness. Now, As far as ethos goes, it really depends. Excuse me. It really depends on what you think about Liberty Mutual as as an insurance company. You may want to do a little digging. Do you find them trustworthy? How long have they been in business? There's all kinds of things that you can think about there. That's what you're going to write in your paragraph. You're going to talk about the logos, the ethos, and the pathos in your advertisement. Now, if you wanted to find a print advertisement, let me go back to Google for a second. Print advertisement examples. Notice again, this time we have images, but this is exactly what we're looking for. Let me go ahead and view all. And let's take one that looks familiar. We have a lot from McDonald's. Here's a good Coca-Cola one. And this is in an article called The Best Print Ads of All Time. So we're going to have more than one advertisement we could choose from. There's a video of it, and then we have the visuals. So if you were analyzing one of these print advertisements, you would click on this link, save that link, and include that in your paragraph. I didn't mention that with the YouTube, but the same thing. You want to share the URL to let us see the same YouTube. Okay. So that's what you're going to do with your discussion board this week. And like I said, if there's anything that you have not turned in that you want to make up, you need to talk to me about it by email, but this is a good week to do it because we do not have a new writing assignment that you need to do. All right, so that's what's going on this week. As usual, if you've got questions, please reach out. And I will see you next Monday. In the meantime, I hope everyone is having a great week 6.